Hey, it's Robin. I just wanted to make kind of a quick YouTube video just to kind of explain what's been going on and all that. I've been wanting to make one of these for a while, and it keeps hitting me, and I want to, and then it just hasn't been the right time. But I'm here cleaning my RV. The last couple days I've been organizing my car, and now I'm here doing my RV because I'm getting it ready to sell, which, oh, it's so many emotions. It's been my home for like 5 or 6 years, so I'm like having a little hard time, and then I'm going through all my paintings and deciding which ones to keep and stuff. So I'm doing all that, and while I'm sitting here, I thought, you know what? It just kind of hit me, and I wanted to kind of explain what all's been going on, and I've had a really hard time knowing where to start with the video because I've been doing so much stuff, and like all this stuff's real. Like it's like I've seen so much stuff and helped so many people and all that. I've been posting like little things on Instagram. I've been trying to kind of get back to doing that to get myself to this point, be able to do a video. But it's just been so much. And then with losing Rue, it was like, it was maybe so good. So, but I didn't really know where to start, and I knew that it would hit me when it hit me, and I'd know where to start. So, Instagram, you've been seeing kind of the places I've been going and the stuff I've been doing, like kind of on the surface, but I haven't really got into like the real, like my real cause, like what I've been trying to do, like what I started out to do. Like I've been doing it like more than I could have ever imagined. Like it's so amazing. The people that I meet, like I meet everybody right at the right times, and it's so fun because like sometimes I'll like have extra food, and somebody will come by and they'll be hungry, and I'll have enough to give them. And then there'll be days where I don't have any food, and somebody will come out and they have a bunch of extra food, and they're like, here, have some. Like everything just lines up, and it's just been so amazing. So what I've, my hope's been like, the whole reason why I wanted to leave and stuff is like, yeah, I wasn't super happy like being in Spokane and doing the corporate job and just being stuck in that. I wasn't happy. But at the same time, what was making me truly, truly unhappy is the way that everyone is treated. And everybody's just like, oh, that's okay, it's just how it is and all that. And so I wanted to really get out there and share people's stories and all that. And there's been so many times where I've wanted to share people's stories, like all the stuff along the way, but we sit and it's just like so private. I wouldn't want to just pull my camera out. And so I've been thinking really hard, like the stuff I want to talk about and share, because like there's so much that is just other people's stuff that I didn't like get permission and all that. I want to share some though, and like what I've been doing. And then I'm going to be in Spokane for a couple weeks. I get to go see Jason Mraz on the 17th. And then hopefully in that time my RV will sell. So if anybody needs an RV, I'm just trying to get enough so I can fix my brakes. So I'd be happy with like $400, $800. But like, if there's somebody out there that just needs a place to stay, like I'm cool even just doing it for free, I'd really, really like if she went to somebody who it'll help them, So, but anyway, dealing with that and doing the car and all that, and I'm going to do Instacart and stuff while I'm in Spokane. And then when I leave, I'm going to, the stuff I'm doing, I want to video and do like interviews with people and maybe do like a podcast or something, but I'm figuring it out. But the kind of stuff I've been doing, because, I'm living in my car. So I've been meeting lots of other people who live in their cars too, or like some people that just live on the street. And like, sometimes there's people that are like, iffy or, too many drugs. Like, we do what we got to do. So I'm not judging anybody or anything, but, there are people that, I'd rather not be around that. But what's so cool is, since I've been such high vibration and good intentions and wanting to help people, it's like the people that don't line up, they just don't notice me. Like when I'm sleeping in my car, there was a time where there was this really freaky couple that was like across the street from me, and I was just by myself. It was kind of in a downtown area. I was in Reading because I was doing Instacart, and they were just building a little home. It was out by a tree, and one of them would sit and like keep the spot, and the other one would go out and get like garbage bags and like cardboard and stuff and come back, and then they'd start building, and then they'd go and like, most people would see that and be like, oh, look at those homeless people. But it was like the most beautiful thing, because it was this little couple that had nothing, and they were helping each other. And I stayed there a couple nights, and they never came over and like tried to bother me. I didn't bother them. It's like they didn't even notice me, and they had to have realized I was sleeping in the car. They saw me getting in and out, I think. But like, even stuff like people are just like cool when you're nice and you treat each other nice and stuff. Everybody just kind of gets along. And so it was kind of interesting and like neat to see. And again, like I hesitate on talking about it because I don't want people to think, oh, they're gross and stuff. Like, it was one of the most beautiful things I got to witness. Like, and then once in a while they had like a couple friends that would come by, and they'd all just sit together, and like, here they had nothing and they were all happy. And then a lot of the other kind of stuff I've been doing, like I'd actually go up and talk with people a lot of times. Like, these people I didn't, because I could tell they were also doing a lot of drugs, and so towards the end of the nights, they'd get screamy at each other and stuff. So I didn't want to like go and actually make friends. But the other people I've met, like, that was the only time that happened where I actually witnessed that kind of stuff. All the rest, the people I've met were just wonderful, nice people that just happen to be homeless. Like, I say homeless, but I think of it as the whole world's my home, and my car's just my bedroom. The front seat's the living room. Anyway, one fella that I met, and my friend was with me for this one. This is cool. This was down, oh gosh, like maybe an hour north of Oxnard-ish area. I don't know. I didn't really check all the towns. Like, I just was kind of going all over for a little while there. But it was really cool. It was this guy, again, he was just homeless. He lived on the street, and we met him and started talking to him. His name was Mario. He had the coolest accent. It was just so nice. And I asked him, what he does for work and all that. And he had this bucket of dirty water and a couple dirty wash rags. Like, these things were gross. Like, and all he would do is, people that wanted their cars washed, like, he was very nice, but like, he didn't just go up and do it. He was like, the people that knew would just come into this parking lot and vibe with him, and he'd wash the cars for them, and they were beautiful afterwards, like, even though the washcloths were gross. And whatever they gave him, he was happy with. If it was $1 great, if it was $5 great. And like, when he was tired, he'd just go to sleep wherever he was, and he was just really happy. And we chatted with him and stuff. And then that night, the only food we had was a bucket of noodles, like one of not the tiniest one, not the biggest one, but kind of an in-between. And so that's what we had. And so between the three of us, my buddy heated it up, and the three of us, we just put around in a circle, and I'd take a bite, and then he'd take a bite, and then he'd take a bite, and we just kind of went around in a circle. And this one cup of noodles filled all three of us, because like, there was just so much love, and we just were all so happy being there together that we were literally full. It was so cool. And then like, we ended up sleeping in the parking lot where we had met this fella. We kept our cars there for a couple nights, came back, and it was really fun, because when I'd wake up in the morning, the guy was so cute. He had gone, and it was just garbage, but he would find all these pretty things, and like marbles and little pieces of metal, and he would make little like pictures outside by the wheels with little I should have taken pictures of him, but again, it was like, it was so sweet. I didn't want to like just put it out there for display, like, because it meant so much. This guy who has nothing like would do that stuff, and it was just, oh my gosh, things like this, the whole trip, we'd meet people that, like, sometimes I'd be with people I knew, and then sometimes, because I'd meet people along the way, and it'd be really fun, and we'd hang out for a while. So sometimes it'd be, chat with them for a while, and other times I'd just be by myself and chatting with somebody and have just the coolest experiences. Like, oh my gosh, there was this one when I was doing an Instacart that, and I'll get back to Mario too, because I have another cool story about those washcloths. Like, those were some magic washcloths, I'll tell you. But I want to forget the Instacart. So, I was doing Instacart in Reading, and I've just checked my orders, and I'm up to 782 or something like that. So I've done quite a few orders, and there's fun ones and, you know, all that. And this one lady, I delivered to her, and we were like, it was like we knew each other. We're like, hey, how are you and stuff. And she's like, you want to come see my cool view from the back? And I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And like, I've never gone in people's houses unless like I always offer like, do you need help in and stuff like that. And I'll bring them in sometimes, but like never just be like, sure, let's see the view. And she was like, okay. And then we got chatting, and I was like, let me give you my Instagram. Like, and I have never given a personal information ever again in almost 800 orders. And it was just like the craziest thing. Like, we knew each other, and then her little dog was so adorable, Pancake. And so I played with Pancake a little bit, and then I had to go do the rest of my orders. And a week later, I happened to stay in Reading because I ended up needing to make a little more. I've got all my bills paid and stuff, and then I was like, sweet. And then it was like, oh crap, now the rest of them are due next week. So I ended up having to stay another week and get all that. But it was great. I got it. So it was fun. That was fun. But anyway, my very last order I did, and it was a shitty order. Like, freaking, it looked like a fun one. With Instacart, you used to just do one store, and now sometimes there's like 2 different stores. So you have to go to a store, shop that one, check out, then go to the next store, shop that one, check out, and then you go deliver them. So I'm like, I don't want to do that. But for some reason, this one popped up. It was for PetSmart and an alcohol place, and they were literally in the same like building thing, just building and built like in the same parking lot buildings. So I was like, I'll just do it. I don't know, for some reason I was like, I'll just take this one. So I did it. And the PetSmart one, as soon as I checked out, the receipt didn't print out. They didn't have receipt paper left in the thing. And they're like, oh, sorry, I guess you don't get a receipt. And it's like, I literally can't go to the next order to shop the next thing until I scan that receipt. Like, it just won't work. Like, and I couldn't get a hold of any of the Instacart people because you have to send them a text and wait for them to reply to you. You can't just like call and be like, hey, I need some help. I'm, in the middle of an order trying to help people. So I literally stood there for 20 minutes while they kept, I guess I'll try to get this receipt. And I'm just standing there being nice. And finally I looked at them, I said, guys, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but this is my job and I'm being timed to do this. And the amount of time I'm here, I can't go do another order to make money. And I have a car payment I need to make. Can we please just get this figured out? And I worked at Petco for years. So, I mean, PetSmart was pretty the same. So I'm like, why don't we go get the same thing? We'll scan it through. Let me scan that receipt and then you guys can return it and we're good. And they're like, oh. So they went, so anyway, it took forever. And then I went over and did the alcohol one and could not find the thing. And luckily they were nice and I found it. So anyway, it took forever. But anyway, I went and delivered, and holy crud, I got out there for the PetSmart one, because the whole time I'm going, like, I kept thinking, dignity and grace. And I just very nicely, even though I'm going, oh my gosh, this is taking forever, I need to make money, I just was very nice, and I smiled, and I was calm, and I kept thinking, this is for a reason. There's a reason I was supposed to take this one. It's all okay. So I just was very calm. Anyway, I got out, and the first lady I delivered to was that same lady again. And as soon as I opened my card, she looked at her, she goes, oh, it is you. And I went, oh, it is you too. And we ran up to each other, gave each other hugs like we hadn't seen each other for, like, we were long lost buddies. We're like, how are you? Like, it was the coolest, funnest thing. I got to play with Pancake. And oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And so there's just like super random stuff like that happens that's so fun. But anyway, back to Mario. So those magic washcloths, one of the coolest things. So the last day I stayed, I can't remember if I stayed there 2 or 3 days. I just went around everywhere, and like some places I'd stay longer, some places I'd just peace out the next morning. So I lost track of the towns and stuff. But oh my gosh, one of these mornings he's like, we're gonna clean your guys' cars, is how Mario was. We're like, oh no, it's okay, we don't want to use your time. He's like, nope, we're gonna do it. And so we're like, well, because he was gonna do it just for free for us. So it's like, well, if you're gonna do it, we're gonna help. So we all, just the 3 of us, just real quietly went around the 2 cars and completely washed them and stuff. And it was crazy because, like I said, the water was dirty and these washcloths were super dirty. And but we did it. We washed them and did the cars, and it was just like so much love. Because like, again, it's been 2 or 3 days now where we all just talk and just spent so much time. Like I have some cool stories with Mario, which maybe I'll share more, but like I say, a lot of this trip was just things that like I shared with people, that was just those experiences. So like, it's been hard to know what to share and stuff, but I also want to share it with you guys, because I would love for other people to go realize that we're all the same and we can all go out and have these experiences. Like, it's not just me, and you know, like we can all do this, and all the synchronicities and the love and like, anyway though, so with the washcloths, when we were done, the craziest thing is like, the cars were so clean, like the cleanest I've ever had. Like I could have gone through a car wash and it wouldn't have been cleaner. And then our hands, all three of us, like you could smell them, and they smelled like linens. Like it was so clean. Like when I had dinner later, didn't even wash our hands afterwards. Like it was like we washed everything. Like it had the rags and stuff were all just like metaphors. And it was just the coolest experience. And like, I do want to start like getting this kind of stuff. I really want to figure out a way to be able to show you guys this stuff without it being like, oh, look here at this stuff. Like, that's why I didn't film a lot of it the first time, is because I don't know how to do it in a way where it's not showing it off. Because I want to do this for everybody. Like, I want everybody to realize they can do this stuff, and we're all in this together. And I want everybody to be able to help each other. And what I want to eventually be able to do is like, I'm doing the Instacart and selling my art and just making as much as I can and still helping people. And I just, whatever I need for my groceries and all that, I spend on me what I can. And then like, I'll get like food and extra stuff, and I help people, and they don't know what I have. They don't know if I have money or not. I help as much as I can. And so that's my goal, is like, I want to get to a point where I can actually help these people more than just sitting with them. And which is really good too, because that helps in ways too. Like it helps me and it helps them. And I'd really like to be able to figure out a way to film some of it so it can be helping you guys too. And I'll try to do some more videos explaining more. Like I went straight to Seaside in Washington first, and I had planned to go real slow down the coast, and then something just kept pulling me to go down to California. And originally I was going to go to California, and then I found out somebody I'd met had moved down there, and I was like, well, that's going to look weird if I go down there right after they went down there. So I was like, I'll just go to the coast first and I was going to go to California and then come up the coast, but I was like, I'll go all the way to the coast and go down the coast. But then I kept having this weird feeling to keep going. And so I did. And it ended up turning out that I got there. I actually ran into the person and was able to help them. And there was some crazy stuff that happened. And it was like, I got there right in the right time and was able to help them. And then it turned out perfect, because then I ended up going to Shasta. And I hadn't planned on going to Mount Shasta until I think probably after the Mraz concert. I was gonna do, like I said, I was gonna go straight down to California, come up slow from the coast, up the 101, and then I was gonna go into Daphne, which is near Powers in Oregon, and Grants Pass, Gold Beach, all those areas. I was gonna do all that, and then come up the coast, and then Mraz was gonna be in like Portland and then in Seattle. So I was gonna like follow him to those concerts and do that, and then I was gonna come to Spokane. And so by being pulled down to California was cool, because I was able to help that person. And then we kind of went around a few places here and there. And so it was cool, because there were spots we were able to help people together where I probably wouldn't have gone and tried to help those, certain people without, like, he'd been doing it for a while. So we both had things that we were good at and the other one wasn't good at, and then vice versa. So it was nice, because we kind of got each other out of our comfort zones and able to do more stuff. So that was really cool. And then getting to Shasta when I did was so cool, because so one of the first things we did is we went out and went camping, and I got a campsite. It was only $10 a night. And so I was like, I just want to be in one spot for a while where I don't have to worry about like hiding my car. And like, I don't super hide. I find spots that are respectful, and I make sure it's cleaner when I leave than when I got there, and like stuff like that. But I just wanted a spot where I was like mine for a second. So the first night I was out there, had a fire going, and this gal comes over from another spot next to me, and she's like, I don't know why, but I think I'm supposed to talk to you. And so we're like, I got talking with her, and oh my gosh, like all of the stuff that like I kept feeling like I had to come down and do all the stuff, and like a lot of things I hadn't talked about before, but I've had so many like premonitions and things over the last, like my whole life, but the last 5 years and so, especially the last like 1 or 2, like all of a sudden things would like, I don't know how to explain it without sounding crazy. So if it sounds crazy, I don't care. It's like channeling or something, but I'd like hear it in my thoughts, but I knew it wasn't mine. It's like softer. Like if you ever hear people channeling, how they kind of get a different voice like that, it kind of does that in my head. And I just kind of felt nuts for a while, but I was like, okay, I'll put this in the back, you know. And then when I ended up doing the trip, all the stuff that had been telling me all this stuff would happen kept on happening. It was like, oh my gosh. And when I met her, she started just telling me all this stuff that I had thought I was nuts about. And I just met her. I don't know anything. We don't even know each other. And she just like knew all the stuff. And like, it was so cool. It was really cool. And me and her like kind of practiced like doing telepathy. And we did it with like colors and stuff. And we got it. But, she ended up, I'm not sure where she ended up going. When I went to Reading, when I got back to Shasta, I didn't see her again. So, but she was one of my favorites I met down there. I have about 3 or 4 favorites, and she was really nice. And we'd meet up at the park all the time and hang out. And then another gal that I met, she did art too. She was also one of my favorites. So it's hard to pick who's my favorite. So I just won't even say, but you're all my favorites. And we'd hang out a bunch. She was super awesome. And there's stuff we talked about that like, man, I super appreciate like the people that we just run into. Like me, again, it was like if I hadn't gone to Shasta and like I was going to go do the other stuff, the other spots first, but going to Shasta, I wouldn't have met these 2 girls. And, like they're both like super godsends. And, my friend that did the art with me and her still chat, and I'm hoping that I can get back down to Shasta and do art with her again. That was so fun. Might do a booth thing at the what is it called? There's like a farmer's market or something I might bring down. I have so these are the ones I've got. This one, this is one from my personal collection. I keep debating back and forth if I'm actually going to sell her or not. We'll see. Same with this one. That's one that I don't know how well I can. There we go. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Personal collection too. Made that one for myself for my birthday. And then we got this guy. And all these. I don't know how well we can see them. There we go. So I'm thinking I might post them for like donation. These ones. And I might take them down to Shasta with me and set them out by the water. I don't know. I'm just having fun with it and stuff. And then I met a couple other people down by the waters too. One nice fellow. Oh, I don't have my necklaces on. I've been cleaning and stuff. So like, I don't have any of my jewelry or anything. I was just been clean. I got my silly cleaning outfit and stuff. But no, the fellow that gave me the Moldavite, he'd sit out there with us too. And, did art, and oh my gosh, just again one of my favorites. Like, oh, I'm gonna get all teary. Like they seriously like the nicest people. And like we would all just like meet up, like not even on purpose, but we'd all just kind of be out there at the same times, and we'd be able to chat, and like we'd bring each other things, and like nobody would fight, and we would just help each other out. Like sometimes we'd find out like, I don't know, maybe somebody was in the park being a butt earlier or something, and so we'll let each other know, like not even in a gossip way, just because we don't tell everybody. We just, the ones that we would know were the nice ones and gonna be kind about it and all that. We'd help each other. And this one guy, oh my gosh, just again one of my favorites. His wife lives in a different country at the moment, and sometimes they live in the same place at the same time, and then sometimes they split and do their own things, and then they just would write each other love letters. They didn't have cell phones or anything. He likes to just live off the land. And so I think he had like a tent somewhere or something, but I never saw where he was living. But he would just walk around the town, and there was different spots during the day where he would be. And so I'd see him at the water all the time around town. And it would be so funny because there'd be times where like I would have like extra food for him or something, and I don't know, need to get gas. And so I would drive to get gas, and there he was. And I'd be like, oh, dude, I was going to give this. He's like, sweet, I have this for you. We did that one day where he had picked a rose for me. And I can't remember what it was. I think it was I had like extra granola bar or something. And I was like, oh, I have this for you. He was like, dude, I have this for you. So we traded, and that was fun. And then at the waters, we would do that. Everybody would do that where, like this one time I brought this big old bean dip that, we got, and, brought it down with some plates and stuff, and all the people I was hoping that would be down there was, so I was able to share with all them. And then, there's other times where I'll go down and I don't have a lot of food, and someone else will have brought something down. Like there was this one time where, in fact, it was I think the last day I was down there, I went and said goodbye to everybody, and I was really bummed because I couldn't afford to get anything to bring out for people because I needed what I had to be able to get gas to get back up here, and then I'm making more with Instacart to pay the next day. Anyway, so I was like, man, I wish I could hook people up, but there, you know, I was just happy to go down and see them. And so I got out of my car, and for some reason I didn't go right away. I just kept sitting there, and I was like, okay, I want to go, but and then I was like, all right, I'm ready to get up now. And as soon as I stood up, this car came driving by, and she stops, and she looks at me, she goes, do you want some food? And I was like, sure. And she was like, oh, wonderful. She was just in the park and had made this great big thing of rice, and it had like veggies on it, and she made it on purpose to like give to people down there to share, but she like wasn't sure who to give it to after she made it. She like did a nice thing, and then she like kind of got nervous to give it to somebody, and she's like, will you go bring it down to people? I was like, yeah, I will. And so then I had more paper bowls and stuff, and so I grabbed that and brought it down. I was like, hey, so I was able to bring the food down. I let them all know how it synced up with, I happened to get out of the car and she came, and they all thought that was awesome too, because that's what was so much fun, is all the people I'd meet in Shasta. Like I told you about my favorites, but then there'd be people that would just line up with, like they'd just be walking down, they'd be out of different states and just randomly coming down, and we'd start chatting, and ended up having really good conversations and stuff. And it would just line up with like, they would happen to bring certain stuff, or like I had lots of people that would just be like, I don't know why, but I'm supposed to give you this, and it'll be like a thing that I really needed. Like it just, oh my gosh, I could go on and on and on and on. This little video went all over. I just looked at the timer and just realized it's almost a half hour that I've been talking, so I should probably stop. But yeah, so my hope is to go continue doing this. Well, not my hope. I am going to continue doing this. I'm going to be in Spokane for the next 2 weeks. If anybody interested in any of the paintings, like I said, I'm just doing donation. And I might start a GoFundMe. I've been going back and forth on it because, like, I don't want to ask for money. If I do end up doing any of that, my bills I pay, it's about $600 a month. And then I do my food and my gas, and then whatever I have left over, like I'm going to start doing a bit of a savings so I have a buffer if like something with my car and I need to fix something on my car, you know, something reasonable there. But what I want to be able to do is have enough to be able to get meals and stuff. My mom and dad got me a cool thing from my car of my roof, so I'm able to have all my cooking stuff and bring my grill with me. So I'd love to be able to like get food and cook for people places I'm going. And like eventually I would love to be able to just like have 20s in my pocket and like be able to just be like, here you go. And like, just, I don't want people to like notice until I leave and then they can see what I gave them or whatever. Like, I love helping people. And then like, I would really like to get some videos of talking to the people, all these people I've talked about. Like if I go back down to Shasta, I'm really hoping I can get them to do like the interview things with me and chat about their lives and how they've been living, or, you know, just whatever they are comfortable and want to chat about. Like, and also if there's anybody in Spokane that's doing similar type of life or having, like any type of issues they want to like get out there and share with people, because something I've been noticing is like everybody's getting crushed with the jobs and the money and the amount things cost. And like, oh my God, in Shasta, I got the smallest, cheapest thing of peanut butter and the cheapest thing of bread. It was $7. Like, what? So like any of that kind of stuff, if there's things like, you know, any of that, I want to bring light to it so we can fix this stuff and help people. And then I want to show that it's normal, that like the people that are living out in their cars, like there are the people that just like series of events led to that, and they don't necessarily want to be in their cars. They're making best of it. So we need to help those people, you know, get their apartments or their whatever they need. Like sometimes it's just like their ID expired, and so then they weren't able to continue with the job, and then they couldn't get an ID because they didn't have a job. And then so it's like regular people who just have a thing happen and there's no one there to help. Like nobody helps. And so instead of having to go places to get help and then they send you somewhere and they send you something, let's just help each other. And like we all are having like the worst stuff happen at the same time. Like I keep hearing from everybody that like this happened and that happened and that happened. They're dealing with it. And so like trying to help each other is hard too, because we're already dealing with our own stuff, that it's like so much. So that's a thing I'm trying to figure out myself, is like, how do we find a balance on doing our own stuff and then being able to help people? Because like that's something I'm finding a balance too, is with like money right now. Like I do need enough to be able to survive and have a buffer, but then I'm trying to find a balance on how much I can, because I keep kind of spending too much, and then I'm like, oh crap, I gotta do a bunch more Instacart real quick. So it's just, I think we're all trying to find balance right now, and I really hope to figure it out myself. And you know, talking to all you people have helped me, and I want to get this out in a way that will help people and inspire people to do stuff that they want to do. But yeah, so if you want to check out any other stuff, I've got my Instagram. It's tikichick44, all lowercase. I've got I post like the little places I've been going and stuff, and I'll try to post more like people that I meet and more stuff like that. And then if there's any questions of stuff you guys want to know about, go ahead and send me messages, and I could do more videos of what I've done. I'm hoping to maybe get one of my friends or my mom or dad or something to sit with me, and I can do a video where they're asking me questions about it, and then I'll put it out there, because I have a hard time remembering all the stuff I've done and all that. So if anybody thinks of any questions, go ahead and ask. So anyway, I'll love all you guys, and thanks for being patient with the next video. I didn't want to do anything too soon and have it be forced. I really wait until something's like, okay, do it. And then that's why I don't have any of my necklaces or earrings on. It was just, I'm cleaning and something's like, all right, it's time. And so I did. So, all right, you guys, love you guys, and see you in the next one. Bye.